today we are going to try Resident Evil 4 remake on RTX 3060 Ti. Resizable bar is enabled. All the specs you can see here, the BIOS version and all. Also the driver version we are using is 531.79. We will test without any overclock or underclock. And the CPU we are using is i3-12100F paired with Asus Prime B660M-A motherboard, and we have two 8 GB sticks of RAM, so total of 16 gigs of RAM we have. It is XPG ADATA D50, I guess. So all the things I told you here. Let's get into the game and see. So first we are going to try the recommended preset. So let's just confirm it. Okay, so we are going to try it on 144 Hz display. VSync is off, so it doesn't cap our FPS. So all the settings are here. I am not changing anything. It is using FSR2 on quality. So I am not changing it as it is the recommended preset. I just want to follow the preset. Motion blur I don't like, but just keep it on for the sake of testing. So let's get into the game and see. So as you can see, we are in the game. Just skip the comms. Okay, so we are in the game. You can see I know the times of GPU is high because I live in a country where summers are very hot, like 40 degrees Celsius. So I know the temperature of GPU and CPU. So that's because of hot weather here. Other than that, you can see we are using recommended preset with FSR 2.0 on quality. We are getting like above 90 FPS. So goal, I think the goal of everyone is to get 60 FPS at least to play this game on this rig on 1080p. So with recommended setting, I guess you can play on 1440p too, but I guess the people who have this rig will mostly stick to 1080p. So yeah, as you can see, 7 gigs of VRAM it is using. This game got many VRAMs complaints, VRAM crashes complaint, but they were way less than the Last of Us one. Last of Us was really bad, but it improved gradually. I played the last patch and it was really good. I completed the DLC or whatever you wanna call it, the extension pack it have. So yeah, I was able to play Last of Us without stutter on this rig after the latest patch. I will do a video on it, I guess, but as you can see, 7.1 gigs of VRAM without any crashes, without any stutters, above 90 FPS, constant, not dropping below 90, although FPS can differ from scene to scene, but this is the open environment, we don't have benchmark specific thing, so we have to stick with it. So yeah, I guess you got the idea. Let's go above and see how much FPS we get. So RT is off, FSR 2.0 is on quality on 1080p, and this is the recommended preset. So let's move to the next preset. So the next preset here we have prioritize performance. Let's just prioritize performance. What it says, reduce the demands of your system without any drop in image quality. Okay, RT will be off in this too. So recommended graphics memory, the this is for the people who have GPU which have like lower than 4 gigs of VRAM or 4 gigs of VRAM. So we have 8 gigs of VRAM, so it will run fine. What recommended says, okay, it will set according to the gig, according to the specs. So let's try prioritize performance just for the sake of testing. We will keep this one short because no one will play on prioritize performance. So all the settings are here. FSR 2.0 is now on performance. Previously it was on quality. RT is off just as before. I guess previously textures were on 1 gigs, now it is on 0.5 gigs. This is the major setting which caches the game or made it stutters or anything like that. So everything is off, everything is on low. visual quality would be really bad to be honest, but just try it. So here we are in the game. I guess VRAM usage decreased. Previously it was 7 gigs, now it is on 5 gigs, so around 1.8 to 2 gigs of VRAM usage is reduced. Also GPU usage is reduced, but FPS is I guess similar, so I don't think there is a point to play this game on prioritize performance, as everything is similar here. Like you will get the similar FPS in recommended setting with better visual quality. This just reduce the VRAM usage. So I will just keep it short. Like here we also drop down under 100, so it's like the similar performance as before. So I don't think you should play this game on prioritized performance. I guess you will get better 1% loss with this settings, because VRAM constraint have like more gap. Like 5, we have 8 gigs of VRAM, so it is using 5.55 gigs of VRAM, so we have like breathing room. So you will have better 0.1 loss and 1% loss. So it is the same phenomena as The Last of Us. Like VRAM constraint was making it stutter. So 1% and 1% and 0.1% loss would be better, but average FPS you will get the similar result. So I guess you got the idea. All the textures you can see here aren't that good, blurry textures and all. So yeah, let's move forward. I don't really like the texture here. So let's move forward. You can see textures are loading after a while, or if we go close they will load. So this is the setting Last of Us previously added with the new patch. Like you can set the timer to load the texture, so I guess this one have the similar settings. So yeah, let's move forward. So the next preset we have is balance image quality and demands on your system. So it is recommended for 4 gigs to 8 gigs of VRAM. Okay, prioritize graphics is recommended for 8 plus gigs of VRAM. RT is for 8 plus gigs. Max is for, I guess, prioritize performance we already saw. I don't think we should test balance, because like no point to prolong the video. I would just go for maxed out setting and RT1. I guess we tested the least to one here. Now we will test the max to one here, like last two ones. So first try RT. So with ray tracing on, cinematic resolution is 4K, FSR is off to enhance the image quality. Texture is on 1 gigs. You can increase this if you have like more than 8 gigs of VRAM. As you can see, it is now right now using 5.4 gigs of VRAM, which is impressive on RTI, to be honest. So everything here, as you can see here, strands also is a really good setting. I like to keep it on, but I will not change it, as we have to stick to preset. You can turn this setting on if you have CPU constraint, like presented persistent corpses. I'm sorry, persistent corpses. You can have low, so you will have like less CPU usage. Corpse physics you can have low, so everything you can set according to your preferences. So let's get into the game and see. So yeah, now you can see we are dropping under 100, under 90 with RT on. This setting have ray tracing on, so I expect better reflections and all that stuff. Okay. So let's see the textures first. Textures are a lot better now. Like you can see they are less blurry. Also, it is not like if you focus on them they will load, or if they will load if you get closer. They are preloaded. Obviously it will use more VRAM. So now it is using 7 gigs of VRAM, as in the recommended preset it was using 7 gigs of VRAM. Also above 200 watts of power it is using, you can reduce the power usage to control the times indicator of the GPU. So CPU usage isn't that high. So I'm comparing this game with Last of Us because I recently tested it. So Last of Us really need like high RAM and CPU usage. Like Last of Us, if you start the game, it will jump on to the 15 gigs of RAM. It will directly use 15 gigs of RAM with just Discord running in the background and some basic stuff like Razer software and all the basic stuff, Corsair IQ. So, but this game doesn't need like much of a RAM. I have Razer Synapse running in the background, Discord running in the background, N60 cam running in the background. Um, I guess it was one or two more software, I guess, basic softwares. So they are running in the background, but you can see it is not using much of a RAM. For Last of Us, I had to close all the background apps. I can use even Chrome with this while playing this game. Can have Chrome open in the next screen, like second screen. So still with RT on, you will not drop under 60. So I would say if also we have no FSR right now. We are not playing it on FSR. So that also increases our visual quality. So 11 gigs of RAM it is using, 10% CPU it is using. If we have enemies around, it will use more CPU, obviously because of AI stuff going on right now. Just these chicken AI stuff is going on. These two chickens. Uh, so 7 gigs of VRAM it is using. So that's why texture are loading better because we have VRAM better VRAM constraint. Like previously we put it on 5 gigs, so it was not able to load texture like we want. So I guess you got the idea. 7 gigs of VRAM, still we have some breathing room. We can still increase the textures. We are using 1 GB texture, high texture. We can put it to 1.5 GB, I guess, but it will worsen the 1% dose, in my opinion. So I don't think you should increase that as the quality is already better. So I guess you got the idea. Let's try the last one, the maxed out one. So let's get into it. So the last preset we have is the maxed out one. Also, this preset is for 8 plus gigs of VRAM, but we have 8 gigs of VRAM here. Like 3060 Ti have 8 gigs of VRAM and it performed really well. I would say because we didn't face any stutters or drop down under 60. My goal is always to stay above 60 for story games like this or Last of Us or any other game. So it is performing really good, to be honest. So let's try max out. Now it is giving memory constraint like VRAM constraint. So now it is using 13 gigs of VRAM. I guess this time it will crash. If I start the game, it will crash. Definitely crash. We are not using FSR just like before. I want to see the texture. Yeah, here because of texture, it is using this much of a VRAM. Like previously, we were using 1 gigs of VRAM. If we max out the setting and lower down the texture, it would we would still be able to get like better FPS. But as you can see, texture have a lot of uh, issues with 8 gigs of VRAM. So let's just keep it on high for the sake of testing. I hope it doesn't crash. Let's get into the game. Everything is maxed out. You can see. So let's get into the game. Surprisingly, we didn't crash. Skip the comms. Surprisingly, we didn't crash, but I am facing the status. You can see the FaceTime graph status are there. We are dropping under 60, obviously, that because of textures. Really wanna have a look at textures, like RGB textures. Okay, stutters everywhere. I guess GPU underclocked itself. It is unable to run. As you can see, GPU is now using only 140 watts, so it underclocked itself. So you will face issues running this game on max out. Obviously, that was expected. So now we are back above 200 watts. So now it is a normal. Again, GPU underclocked itself automatically. So GPU algorithm is working there. But when it is unable to give that much VRAM or temperatures are rising too much, it will underclock itself. So that's what is happening here. Also, we are testing in really hot environments, so maybe that's the thing. As people live in South Asia have really high temps, so keep in mind if you're playing in South Asia, you will face this. Sure, it's under 30. It's completely unplayable. I just wanna see if I turn on the FSR, will it make it any better? Don't think quality will do anything. Let's just do it on performance. GPU underclocking really have a toll on the GPU, to be honest. It is unable to perform because of that. Now it is back up. Now it is better. Now it is better. Now it is kind of stable, I would say, but you can see the grass. That's because of FSR. That's I hate about the FSR. FSR 1 was worse than that, but FSR 2 is not nothing better, I would say, in this game. I wish I would be able to turn DLSS on. I didn't see DLSS in settings. Maybe I missed it, but it's in there. You can see the texture stutters, you can see in the frame time graph. Also, the RAM usage increased from 11 gigs to 15 gigs, so we are also maxing out the RAM here. CPU usage is still low, so 99% of CPU is using 7.7 gigs of VRAM it is using, so VRAM constraint we are hitting. So yeah, let's lower down the textures a bit because this is making it troublesome. So if we bring it under 7.3 and put this on quality, okay, let's run this as we are now using like less than 7 gigs of VRAM shown here. So just playing with the setting and trying to play with the settings. GPU underclock, not letting it run properly, to be honest. 7.2 gigs of VRAM usage decreased, but not getting the FPS I was looking for. So on maxed out setting, it is not recommended to play this game on maxed out setting with 3060 Ti and i3-100F and 16 gigs of RAM. I guess you should upgrade the RAM, at least go to 24 gigs and upgrade the CPU as well. Then I guess you would be able to at least play the game and get at least 12 gigs of VRAM GPU. Then you can max out the settings. NVIDIA don't have the better 12 gigs of VRAM alternative like in budget. AMD have it, I guess 6700 XT have 12 gigs, I don't remember actually. Sorry if I'm wrong. So AMD has better alternative for 12 gigs of VRAM. 3060 have 12 gigs of VRAM, but it have less bus width or bus speed, whatever you wanna call it. So that's why you can get better 0.1 and 1% loss, but you won't be able to get better FPS with 3060. So that was the reason I opted for 3060 Ti to at least completely use my 8 gigs of VRAM, but here 8 gigs of VRAM are not isn't enough. I just wanna tweak a little more. Let's see how it will perform now. I will just turn whatever else we can turn off. Okay, turn motion blur off. Hate this that feature. So let's see. VRAM usage decreased again, but GPU on the clock, I guess they're not letting it perform truly. No, that's how NVIDIA GPU works. So I guess you will go get 50-60 FPS, at least 50ish FPS if you crop these settings and tweak with settings and play with the settings. Like here you can see we are getting like 40ish FPS. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I go out the FPS will decrease. Yeah, went out and FPS decreased. So that's underclocking doing its thing, because like I can clearly see it is using 123 125 watts of power. It means it underclocked itself. So we are really pushing the GPU, so for the safety of it underclocked itself. So I guess you got the idea. I would say with RT on, you would be good to go. If you want, like, you can turn FSR to on quality with RT on to get better 1% up and 1% loads. Other than that, average FPS would stay above 60 with that. So I guess you got the idea how much FPS you will get. Poor guy is tired now of running. So yeah, peace out.